Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm happy. I'm happy to be on camera because I've been sitting back. I've been watching all you perpetrating frauds out there talking about, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, the whole situation. Now, I find it quite hilarious. I literally been sitting back and watching, see what people are saying. I knew they were going to blame Joshua. Knew they was going to blame Eddie Hearn. And here's my take on it, okay? So, pretty much we all know now that this fight isn't happening this year, okay? It's not happening this year. The WBA has mandated Joshua to fight Povetkin. Wilder won't sign a damn contract, even though he agreed to terms, about 16 days ago on the 11th or whatever it was, because it's 27th, so yeah, about 16 days ago, roughly 2 weeks ago, he agreed to terms. The contract was never signed. His own manager confirmed that he turned down a $15 million flat fee to fight Anthony Joshua, which was a slight increase from the $12.5 he initially received. So he actually got a $2.5 million increase, still won't take the fight against Anthony Joshua. I remember making videos about it back in April. So I hear people saying this about Joshua, that about Hearn, it is what it is, man. But we have to keep things in perspective. I wrote a timeline down of what was said and what was done that led us to this point. And we are going to go through said timeline. So before we get into where we are now, we have to start at a very interesting point, which is earlier this year. Now, Deontay Wilder was the one leading up into the Luis Ortiz fight buildup. He was the one saying, Joshua must take the same rematch deal I take for the first fight. So he said that. Those are his words, nobody else's. That's what he said in February, right? So then April 25th, roughly 3 weeks after Joshua had defeated Joseph Parker, Wilder's team, they decided to make Anthony Joshua a $50 million offer to fight him because that's what Joshua said in an IFL TV interview. I'll take 50% if you offer me $50 million. So they said, we'll give you $50 million. And then I remember not too long after that, I made a video saying that, going over what the Eddie Hearn interview on the Boxing Voice, and Eddie Hearn said that they would agree to it. They just wanted to know the terms, and then Shelly Finkel's, who's Deontay Wilder's manager, didn't want to go through the terms. They didn't want to go through the fine print because they knew they was on some, as the great Dame Dash would say, they were on some treacherous shit. Straight up, they were on some treacherous shit. So that offer fell by the wayside. Okay. Not too long after that, Eddie Hearn launches the Zone app, which is scheduled to launch later this year, to debut later this year. And then now, heading into this month, June 11th, Deontay Wilder agrees to terms for the fight with Anthony Joshua. And then the 26th, which was yesterday, Wilder's manager, Shelly Finkel, confirmed that Wilder has agreed to a $15 million flat fee. He described it as bullshit. And then Eddie Hearn will later on go on by saying that the offer for the $15 million flat fee still stands. So that's where we're at right now. And I'll say this, man. It's not really that surprising to me. Like I was optimistic that the fight would happen this year, but it's not surprising. I've told you guys, and I've emphasized this in every Wilder and Joshua video I've made about how important this fight is and how they're not just going to do it immediately when we want. I'm trying to tell you, it's the first mega fight, at least for heavyweights, the first mega fight for heavyweights in this, social media era. Klitschko Joshua was big, but I feel like this has a chance to be much, much bigger than that. And it's for undisputed, so it makes it that much, much bigger than that. With this fight, there's a lot to be gained from both sides. Even if Wilder were to take the $15 million flat fee and lose and not maximize his earning potential moving forward, that's still roughly a $13 million increase in pay in comparison to what his highest pay was. So, it's a much different level for Wilder in terms of stature, in terms of the level of the fight. And I'll say it like this, man. I don't think Eddie Hearn and Joshua are at fault here. The reason I don't think they're at fault is because of the simple fact that they made the offer. Wilder verbally agreed to the offer, but for some strange reason, on Wilder's side, the contract was never signed. You can get emotional. You can go look at all the profanity laced Twitter rants from Deontay Wilder all you want. You can go listen to Brandon Schaub, ride the coattails of Deontay Wilder. But the fact of the matter is, an offer was made from Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, the A side, the people that can negotiate from a position of strength. The offer was made. B side, Wilder, who was getting a career high payday, all right, roughly around an 8-figure career high payday increase as far as the increase, it's 8 figures. He verbally agreed, but there is still no contract signed. So, I feel like it's on him, man. It's on him. It's on his team. It's on Shelly Finkel, all those guys over there. It's on them. Yeah, honestly, there's many ways to look at this. I still think it's on Wilder. There's many ways to look at this because the way I look at it is this too. I always feel there's a part of me too that feels like with these guys, with Wilder, with Joshua, with both parties involved, that they know that this is the biggest. This is the first big heavyweight fight of this social media era, the first super heavyweight fight for Undisputed. The kind of fight of this magnitude, the kind of fight that transcends the realms of hardcore boxing fans. They understand this, and because they understand this, they know that there's a lot of money to be made, and I feel like this is all just semantics. This is all just semantics. That's what I feel. I feel like it's definitely on Wilder's team because they agreed to terms and then they didn't sign the contract. But really, it's just semantics, and they know when they're gonna fight. They already know, and they've probably been known. The feeling that many people have gotten, and this is not even just me, but just most boxing fans in general, the feeling most of us have had anyway, regardless of what was said in the media, was that Wilder was in a fight Dominic Brazil, which was his mandatory, and that Joshua was in a fight Povetkin, who was his mandatory. Joshua was just coming off a unification bout with Joseph Parker, and because Wilder and his team are so slow, they're moving at the speed of a turtle to sign the damn contract. He can't wait for them. He can't let their indecision affect his boxing career, and he has to move forward with or without him. With or without Wilder, the show must go on without him. So he has to move on. He has to fight Povetkin, or else he's gonna get stripped. Okay, he's gonna fight Povetkin, or he's gonna get stripped, and it's as simple as that. Interesting point. I'm gonna bring this up in my next video, but it's funny because everybody's saying, "Well, Joshua's scared. Joshua's a coward. Joshua's this. Joshua's that." The last time I checked, when Joshua does fight Povetkin, right, that'll be the third opponent he's fought that Wilder didn't fight. That Wilder, ducked. Okay, you had, he could have fought Klitschko years ago, back in 2015. Shelly Finkel says they weren't interested in that fight. Okay, could have fought Joseph Parker before Joshua even got a hold of him. For whatever reason, that fight didn't come to term, because you guys remember Parker was at his fight. He was sitting ringside. They met. They talked. Nothing came of it. Now you have Povetkin, a guy that people said should be banned from the sport for all the meldonium and all that stuff. And then it's funny because I made the video. He got proven innocent in court recently. So another guy that Joshua has to kind of pick up the trash and throw out of here. And Povetkin's a great fighter, man. Povetkin's a top level heavyweight. The only guy he's ever really lost to is Vladimir Klitschko in his prime, at the top of his peak. And mind you, when he fought Klitschko, that was probably one of the worst performances Klitschko ever put up. It was a foul-infested performance. So it wasn't like Klitschko dominated Povetkin. Povetkin gave a decent account of himself. Really couldn't get past the hug, the jab and grab style of Klitschko. But it's a good opponent for Joshua, regardless. And I find it hilarious how these same Wilder fanboys who were talking about Povetkin being banned from the sport, who were talking about Povetkin needing to, go F off to Russia because he's a cheater, are the same people who are now rooting for Povetkin to knock Anthony Joshua and off the throne of the heavyweight division. So it's just funny how life works. It's funny how the logic of these Wilder fanboys work. But I mean, there's many ways to look at it. I believe, part of me believes it's just semantics. They're playing with each other. It's a WWE type of thing to get more hype going for the fight. And they'll probably fight in like summer next year, spring of next year, somewhere around there in a big stadium fight. And if not that, then it really is Wilder. It really is Wilder who maybe not Wilder himself, because we don't want to blame Wilder. I think Wilder, the fighter, I'm talking about Wilder the fighter, I think he is willing to fight Joshua. I think it's people behind him that don't want to fight Joshua. I think it's people behind him that won't sign the dotted line. I think it's people behind him who have his head so damn polluted and so damn disoriented that the contract just won't get signed. But the fact of the matter is, you can cry, you can moan, you can cuss all you want, but the fact remains, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, they made the offer multiple times. First in April, okay. Then Wilder countered. Then when Eddie Hearn wanted to consider the counter, they didn't want to release the terms to Eddie Hearn and Joshua. So then they said they weren't going to take it. And then Eddie Hearn said, okay, we'll do $15 million. It's there. The flat fee is there. They say it's BS. Wilder himself, it's been reported by numerous outlets, Wilder himself has agreed himself to take the flat fee, but it's Shelly Finkel doesn't want to take the flat fee, and that's where the problem lies. There lies the problem. It's Wilder and the scrubs behind him that are holding up this fight, and it's unfortunate for boxing fans, but we're going to have to wait. And in the meantime, we're going to get two good heavyweight fights. We're going to get one for sure good heavyweight fight. We don't know about Wilder Brazil. Wilder Brazil will probably be a blowout. But while Joshua Povetkin, I think, would be a good fight. You get Anthony Joshua in there with a good, experienced, top level heavyweight, dangerous punch. We all saw what he just did to David Price in one of the what was a knockout of the year candidate on Joshua's undercard for Parker. So, should be interesting of a matchup. Joshua did show some vulnerabilities when he fought Carlos Taka, who's kind of a shorter heavyweight who can move around a little bit. Povetkin maybe doesn't have the lateral movement of a Takam, but he's a lot more dangerous when he lands on you. He's got thump in both hands, so going to be an interesting fight. It'll be a guy that Wilder chose not to fight. Wilder was going to take peanuts to go to Russia to fight Povetkin a couple years ago. They made that off. They accepted that offer, but they won't accept an 8-figure pay increase to go fight Joshua for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Something doesn't add up there, and that's how I'm seeing it. So that's that. Wilder Brazil. That's a fight that we've been kind of anticipating for a little bit. Not because we want to see it, but because of the whole. For one, Brazil is Wilder's mandatory, and for two, the whole thing that happened between Brazil and Wilder's brother. So not really looking forward to that. Well, Brazil doesn't have anything really outside of a puncher's chance. He's very basic, very slow-footed. Against low-level heavyweights, what makes for some great fights, but against Wilder, I think he's going to get washed and badly. So we'll see, man. But that's the news. That's what I'm talking about right now. Basically, this fight's not going to happen this year. It's unfortunate because there was a lot of optimism moving forward for this fight happening this year. But it's also been reported that Eddie Hearn is going to – the Povetkin-Joshua fight will be on Eddie Hearn's DAZN platform, which will launch later on this year. So looking forward to seeing how that all goes, how the fight goes. And, stay tuned for the next Joshua Wilder video because there is another one coming up right after this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about everything that's been going on. It is worth noting, again, I got to note it again, Wilder did say back in February, before any of this happened, before the $50 million, before the counter offers, before any of this happened, it was Wilder who was saying, I will accept the terms and I'll take whatever. They got to take whatever on the back end if I win. He showed the ability to agree to terms. I think, like I said, I don't think it's him. I think it's his team. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.